Denji's love life is a massive train wreck. Makima treated him like a dog and killed his family. Power knocked him out and tried to feed him to the back devil. Breeze manipulated and tried to blow him up, even though, well, she's not so bad. But now Denji's got a new girlfriend, and she actually likes him. But who is she, and where did she come from? It all begins with an awkward loner in high school named Asa Mitaka, who tripped and smashed the class's pet chicken devil. The teacher apologized on her behalf, but made the class president so envious of Asa for the teacher liking her that she contracted with the devil and rearranged Asa's face. As she makes her final wishes, the War Devil swoops in, offering Asa a contract and a second chance at life in return for her body. Rising up, it turns her teacher's spinal cord into a sword and the Justice Devil's arm into a hand grenade to slash and obliterate the student devil. Now, accepting this contract means that Asa should be a fiend, which is a devil that has taken over a human corpse. However, the War Devil leaves half of Asa's brain intact so it can blend into human society, which in turn leaves Asa with her humanity and the ability to use the War Devil's powers while in her human form. We see in chapter 101 that Asa agreed to call her roommate by the name of Yoru, and these two couldn't be more different. While Asa hates violence and isn't selfish, as she even tries to save her bullies from the Justice Devil, Yoru, being the War Devil, thrives on chaos. Yoru's ultimate goal is to kill Chainsaw Man and retrieve her power. You see, when Asa and Yoru made their pact, Yoru had been in a weakened state ever since fighting Chainsaw Man, who had consumed most of her body back in the Pochita days. And when Chainsaw Man consumes a devil's body, people start to forget about the existence of that devil entirely. It's worth remembering that a devil's strength is in accordance to how terrified people are of the concept that they represent. So, when Chainsaw Man ate part of Yoru, wars ceased to exist, only becoming a thing of movies and video games. And as people forgot about the real terrors of war, Yoru continued to grow weaker. We learned back in chapter 84 that Yoru is part of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, with each representing control, war, famine, and death. Previously in Hell, Chainsaw Man was engaged in a brutal war with these 4, which led him to eat many of the War Devil's children before escaping to Earth as Pochita. And while devils can't give birth to children, we see in chapter 176 that Yoru refers to the tank and gun devil as her children, when she calls upon them to become her right gun gauntlet and left tank gauntlet, which means that devils born under the concept of war could be considered her children. Ever since that war, these 4 horsemen have been seeking Denji's heart for their own purposes, and that may be easier than first thought as Denji's devil continues to be celebrated by the people. Remember, a devil's strength is in accordance to how terrified people are of the concept that they represent. So, as the Chainsaw Man is loved by the people instead of feared as a devil, he grows weaker, and Denji's thirst to be recognized as Chainsaw Man is actually putting him in even more danger, because at this point it's like he's trying to give his enemies a UAV. But Denji doesn't do this just cause. In chapter 193, Denji starts crying tears of happiness once he learns that there's someone left who actually likes him, which highlights his real need of acceptance from someone else. Denji's lost all of his emotional relationships and has never felt comfort or affirmation from anyone or anything besides a pornographic magazines he found, which would explain why he wants to be known as Chainsaw Man so badly, even going as far as to drop his student ID by a defeated devil, which got picked up by Yoshida anyway, and why he continues to confuse his need for love and affection with sex. Not only does Yoru wish to have her children puked up by the Chainsaw Man, but she also hopes to prove that she is stronger than him, and boy is Denji in for it. The two have a power similar to that of Makima's in that as long as they believe they own something or someone, they can make them into a weapon. We see this with creations like the Yuko leg sword and the Tanaka spinal cord sword. In fact, the higher the sentimental value, the stronger the weapon that's created. For instance, in chapter 108, when Asa transformed her school uniform into a sword, and even though she merely tapped the Justice Devil, it minced her into bits. And that's because it was the last gift she ever received from her deceased mother, turning it into an exceptionally powerful weapon. On top of this, Yoru can hijack contracts from devils that she owns, such as the Gun Devil. We see in chapter 177 and 178 where she pulls off one of the most insane attacks in the series. After sacrificing the index finger of roughly 400,000 gun owners from the National Pistol Association of America's 3.5 million members, she turns the Statue of Liberty into a grotesque rifle-wielding monster that fired massive severed finger bullets across the world, dealing serious damage to Chainsaw Man and presumably taking out hundreds of lives in the process. At first, Yoru hated Denji and the Chainsaw Man, seeking to kill and get close to him every chance she got. However, Asa's genuine feelings along with her moral compass always got in her way. And the more Yoru interacted with Asa and felt her emotions thanks to their shared brain, the more Yoru's perception of Denji began to change. While Asa had no feelings when she first met Denji and even felt disgusted by him, Asa re-encounters Denji after the Justice Devil arc while looking for someone between a criminal and a cat to turn into a weapon. She witnesses him committing seemingly good deeds, picking up used cigarette butts. However, she soon learns that Denji was only doing it to rip off the local hobos, though from this point forward, Asa begins developing feelings for Denji during the dating Denji arc. While trapped in the aquarium by the Eternity Devil, Asa genuinely grows to like Denji, which is confirmed by Yoru in chapter 117, recognizing the feeling as love. In chapter 168, Yoru becomes embarrassed after, well, helping Denji out, and quickly deflects it, saying it was only because of Asa's feelings. But even though these two share a brain, she since continued giving our boy the sugar without the influence of Asa's feelings. In chapter 182, Yoru finally confesses her feelings, stating that Denji is cute when he cries and continues to make out with him. At first, Asa's feelings may have motivated her to act this way. However, in comforting Denji and continuing to be intimate with him, it's clear that Asa's feelings no longer influence Yoru. But Yoru's secret plan may just turn everything upside down. In chapter 195, Asa Mitaka drops a bombshell. She even puts a gun to her head before revealing that the war devil Yoru has something far worse in store for humanity than extinction. One theory suggests that she intends to turn the entire world into a war-driven dystopia. Asa's been pretty shy recently, and until now has been conflicted, sometimes fighting against Yoru's will, but usually succumbing to the devil's influence. But now that the true scale of Yoru's ambition is out of the bag, Asa may have to choose between continued resistance or fully embracing the war devil's plans. However, there may just be a silver lining in all of this. After promising Denji the sticky icky in return for defeating the Death Devil, it's clear that Yoru has Denji in the palm of her hand and finally has the power to turn him into a weapon. But she hasn't, because she's developed feelings of her own, and those feelings are stopping her from going through with her initial plans. Though, even if Asa has nothing to do with those feelings, she's still the only character who can currently stop Yoru. But if that wasn't enough, it's just been confirmed that Chainsaw Man's final herald has arrived. While her first nervous appearance didn't come off as very intimidating, the latest chapter 196 hints at her staggering power. By raising her hand to a student's head, she promised to free him of the suffering of life by means of death, giving her the supposed ability to kill all she touches. But wait, her introduction couldn't have been more perfectly timed. Yoru since received her massive power-up and new weapon arms, wreaked havoc throughout Tokyo, and caused mass death and destruction. It's likely that the Death Devil descended on Earth in response to Yoru's violence, and in her mind, truly believes that death is the only salvation from the War Devil. Between the Death Devil and the Chainsaw Man's loose cannon girlfriend, he's got his work cut out for him in the coming battle. That's it for this video. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed our explanation of Chainsaw Man's girlfriends. Until next time.